Hey, yo, what's poppin', guys? Back with another live video. Today, I'm gonna be playing Granny Chapter 2. I'm also gonna be learning more about it because I don't know. There might be a story behind it, you know? So, we're gonna play Granny Chapter 2 right now, do some research about it, and let's get started. But first, I'm gonna look it up on the TV and see if it's full screen on TV or something. So I'm gonna go check that out real quick. Alright. If it shows my live on TV right now. See if it's full screen first. Oh, that's glitching. Tell me it is. Yo, full screen. Nice. Alright, had nice. Had to check it out first. Nice. Alright. I haven't downloaded it yet, but alright. I haven't downloaded it yet, but I'm gonna go to the background pictures of that. I forgot. That didn't save for some reason. Alright, anyways. Let me see what else I can figure out. Well, that's the biggest I can get. Alright. Well, let's get ready to play Granny Chapter 2. So, I gotta find the settings real quick. I mean, not settings, but whatever it's called. Oh, here we go. Wait. Granny Chapter 2. I ain't played Chapter 2 in a long time. I will be doing Chapter 3 next time, though. Let's check out the pictures to it. Okay. So Grandpa's in this one. I'm sure they're together. See? So it's either escape from the boat. I remember escape from the door or the boat. The Chapter 1, you escape from a car or the door. This time is a boat. And yeah, Grandpa's got that key on him. Yeah. Let me check. I'm gonna show you what I'll be playing next time, though. Look at what 3 looks like, though. Slendrina and this. It's 3 of them. That's what we'll be playing next time. Wait, Grandpa got a shotgun? I don't remember that one. Alright, anyways. Yeah, that's the ending right there, I remember. I will be playing Chapter 2, though. So that, I'm gonna go back to the second one. Chapter 2. That's it right there. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and download this one now. Get that downloaded. I already got chapter 1. Please. Chapter 2, here we go. Do I got that for the top? Yeah. Okay, it's opened. Yeah, right there. Oh, down here. Wait, can't put no more there? Right, I'll put this right here now. Got that set up. Let's look more up about Granny before I get started, though. What happened, Granny? To in the horror game. Let's see what it says. There is no explanation in this game itself for her abilities or motivation. What? There's some videos about it. Full timeline story explained. So let's see it.
Granny is the titular supernatural antagonist of the games with the same name, which have a deep yet ambiguous story involving other supernatural entities such as Grandpa, Angeline, Slenderman, Slenderina, Slenderina's husband, and a child, presumably being inspired by a mix of legends and myths. As the story is hugely left open for interpretation, that's what we're gonna do today. Hi folks, I'm R, your narrator. This video will contain spoilers about all of the installments of the Slenderina, Slenderman, and Granny series. With that in mind, let's begin. Granny is an entity which is proven to be of supernatural nature due to her glowing red eyes and immunity to gunshots. She traps people in her house and cellar, including cells, presumably usually men, due to a personal vendetta she still holds, which we will talk about later in the video.
I forget which chapter that was where you have to picklock that gate. I can't remember which one that was. It had to be chapter 3 or chapter 4. I played it before though.
In the first game, several writings and a note on a scrap piece of paper inform the player that he isn't Granny's first victim. In fact, there have been many more people she had trapped and killed. One of her ways of killing being the guillotine she sketched and designed, presumably by herself. In the second one, the trend continues with another person waking up in the cellar, yet another victim of Granny. Except in this one, Granny is accompanied by another vicious accomplice called Grandpa. The third installment starts a little different.
That's the one I'm about to play, chapter 2. There's a new Granny is supposed to come out. I don't know which chapter that is. So, either 5 or 6 or something. I don't know which. I gotta look it up in a little bit after this.
With the protagonist entering the premises on his well. Upon getting caught by the grandpa, he gets shot and taken to the cellar cell, where he finds remains of some other victims in different cells. Who is Granny and her malevolent family members? Let's start from the beginning and discuss Granny's story. Let's start with the first installment in the series, Granny 1. The player wakes up in a room. Upon further inspection of the house, he comes across the Granny, a white-eyed, grotesque old woman in a white nightgown and patchy white hair. She wields a
Nightgown. I thought it was called dress. Wait. Oh. I thought it was a dress for a second. Hold on. I figured that weapon might be her favorite thing to hold in her hand. She never lets go of that bat for some reason. It's got blood stain all over it. I think it's gonna talk about why she got that bat. Probably found it somewhere or something, or got it. I don't know. Let's see. It might not talk about the bat, but it's gonna tell the story though. Let's see.
A bloodied bat and has blood on her mouth, giving us a clue of how she attacks and kills her victims. After shooting Granny by finding disassembled parts of a shotgun and assembling the gun, we learn that Granny is immune to bullets. Possibly, she's immortal, being immune to death. This can be further fortified by a diary we find in one of Slenderina's installments, which is written in 1892, suggesting that Granny is extremely old. The blood on her mouth suggests that she bites or even eats parts of her victims. Maybe not her preferable way of killing them, as she has hand-designed a guillotine and likes to imprison her victims to death, as seen in the third installment. Nonetheless, she still bites and possibly even eats her victims, hence why she has been thought of sharing resemblance to zombies. Investigating further, the player finds a mysterious crib with no baby in it or anywhere near to find. After collecting a teddy bear and placing it inside the crib, a ghost of a woman known as Slenderina shows up, leaving a key behind and disappearing. Exploring a bit more, we can...
Wait, it leaves a key behind? I just figured out one way to get a key, one new way to find a key. There's another new way. Yo, I might have to go back to chapter 1 and go check that out. But every time you grab that teddy bear, it seems like Granny will automatically know where you're at and just follow you. And it will follow you the whole time. Until you let go of it, she won't know where you're at until she sees you. Something about that. I don't know. Okay.
We can find a woman shackled to a wall and presumably dead. We later find out this victim is called Angeline, the daughter of Granny. Therefore, it becomes evident that a tragedy has taken place here.
Slenderina was the daughter of Granny. I thought that was Granny's mom for a second. What the fuck? Daughter of Granny? Then who the fuck is Slenderina's? She got $2 or something? Because the other one's young.
Causing the death of two women, Angeline and Slenderina, a possible child, and maybe even Granny herself, who is now hostile and seeks for blood. In myths and legends, an entity known as the White Lady in a white dress and long black hair is well known in many different countries. In one tale originating from Netherlands, there's an evil spirit of a woman who imprisons men who had been mistreating women and abusing them. This evil spirit punishes them for a while, then eventually kills them to deliver a swift justice. Although the story is not identical to Granny's, it bears close resemblance. Granny seems to be a malevolent presence who lures men or drags them into her house. She gives them 5 days of mentally and physically tormenting them before she kills them. She also had chained up her daughter, Angeline, to a wall, causing her death. Now, why would Granny kill her own daughter? In The Child of Slenderina's ending, we find a diary that tells us the backstory on how Slenderina and her father died, the Slender Man. July 10th, 1892. Dear Diary, it has been a good day today, but I'm starting to feel dizzy and nauseous now. The whole family went to the park and the weather was wonderful. Mother was in an extra good mood, which doesn't happen that often. When we came home, she cooked us dinner. I thought it tasted a bit weird, but didn't dare to say anything. Father looked pale and had to lie down straight after dinner. I can hear him in the other room. The pain! I'm feeling even worse now. My head is spinning. Therefore, we learned that Angeline, Slenderina's mother, and the granny's daughter was the culprit behind Slenderina's and Simon or Slenderman's death. This probably angered Granny very much, making her shackle Angeline.
So the Slenderina gang, Slenderman, Granny, they all know each other. Yo, and it tells the rest of the story in the other games. Oh, okay.
Angeline to a wall and let her rot. The reason why Angeline kills her husband and daughter are left to interpretation, one of which might be due to Angeline's unstable mental health, as we see a portrait of her in the asylum alongside Slenderina, which could be suggestive of her being admitted to the surreal asylum and giving birth to Slenderina in there, as we also can find a baby on a table. There are several other theories, one common one suggesting that this child belongs to a Slenderina, but I still believe it's Slenderina herself, as it bears no resemblance to the child, and this one looks almost identical to Slenderina. Therefore, we get a glimpse of how broken and unhealthy this family is. There's another folklore about an evil, vengeful spirit of a woman who lures unfaithful men into her house and kills them. This entity used to be a woman who was cheated on by her husband. In sorrow and despair due to her partner's infidelity, she kills her child and herself. She then arises as a hostile spirit, desperately trying to find her child while killing anyone in her way. Yet another one is of a woman who loses her child and eventually dies due to a heart attack or extreme sorrow. Then she arises yet again as a spiteful spirit, trying to find her child, killing anyone in her way. These stories can compare to Slenderina's, as when the player places the teddy bear in the crib, Slenderina's soul appears and then goes away, leaving a key behind, presumably becoming satisfied as the teddy bear might have belonged to her child and embodies the essence of her child. Granny also becomes angry and gets glowing red eyes after the teddy bear is taken, showing that Granny cared about Slenderina and her child very much. Hence why she becomes very angry and shackled up Angeline. Getting back to Granny and the first game, The player finds several writings on the walls and items begging for help. After a thorough investigation, the player finds a note from the previous victim and how he got cut. This is my 5th day in this house. She chases me wherever I go. I'm quite injured. And my body hurts. The only thing I remember before I woke up in this house is that I was driving when my car suddenly broke down. I went out to see what the problem was when someone suddenly hit me in the head. I have managed to open a pair of locks in the front door. But that's all. Why does she do this? I hope no one will experience the same thing as I do. If I do not survive this, and if someone finds this message, I've noticed that she sometimes hides things inside fruits. Therefore, Granny is an entity that lures or drags her victims into the isolated houses she occupies and toys around with them before killing them. The 3rd installment is an exception as the victim walks into the house herself. But we'll get back to that later. A dismantled vehicle and shotgun can be found in the house, which many believe to have belonged to this victim. But in my opinion, it's Granny's car, as the victim's car broke down, maybe due to Granny placing a trap and intentionally ambushing the victim. Either way, the victim's car wouldn't be able to drive to Granny's location, and Granny has to somehow get to the location she ambushes her victims, which is possibly by using her car. She also places puzzles around the house, dismantling the car on purpose to torment her victims and give them a sense of hope, so she can toy around with them. After fixing the car, we realize that the garage's door is barricaded, therefore proving that the car was not dismantled by accident, but in fact, the Granny did it intentionally to play around with her victims. After completing the game, Granny is seen on the porch having the teddy bear next to her, while Slenderina appears behind her, suggesting that both Slenderina and Granny presumably work together in tormenting these victims, who might be abusers of women, while Granny misses her granddaughter Slenderina. The player in Granny 1 is probably assisted by Slenderina after he shows to be not a bad man, at least to Slenderina's eyes, as he places the teddy bear in the crib, showing he respects Slenderina and her child. Now let's move on to the 2nd game. In the 2nd installment, many more characters and creatures get introduced. Instead of one, we now have 2 antagonists, Grandma alongside Granny. Grandma has a crowbar and occasionally likes to take naps. But unlike this mortal habit, he's also immune to bullets and presumably death. His origin is a bit ambiguous, but just like Granny, he seems to be a vengeful entity after blood. Inspecting the house, we can find a coffin which belongs to Slenderina's husband, a vampire who is also known as Liev. We learn he is Slenderina's husband in a picture of him standing next to Slenderina and their child, a grotesque child badly deformed into the shape of a spider. Not long after, we can find this child in a cell, who is very vicious. After killing or injuring it, the ghost of Slenderina shows up, screeching, having angry red eyes, a sign that the player might have been brought to the house similarly to the previous victims, being thought to be an abuser of women. Hence why Slenderina specifically becomes angrier after her child is attacked by this man. Another big change in the game is the house. Instead of the previous house, this place now seems to be close to sewers. In the water, we find a monstrous octopus which can eat the protagonist. From many notes scattered around, we learn that this monster is bred and raised by Granny and Grandpa, maybe as a pet or maybe as a guard to prevent the victims from escaping. In one of the endings, we can see Granny sitting inside a car, which fortifies the theory earlier in Granny 1 that Granny drives around and ambushes their victims, then drives them back with her car, placing them in the rooms. In the third installment, the house is yet again in an entirely different place, having remote-controlled gates, cameras, and even a collapsible...
So this is talking about all the chapters, like the whole full story. But what caused Granny to be like that, though? I don't know. I think I wasn't listening to that, but okay. 13. Does it talk about the new chapter too? New chapter? Like, I don't know. What's the new chapter? 6, 7? I don't know. It's talking about like chapter 3 now. See?
Bridge, making it extremely difficult for the victims to escape. It seems as if Granny, still accompanied by Grandpa, keep on changing their location not to be exposed to getting caught or found out. They also always improve their security, preventing the victims from escaping, and always choose isolated places to make it ideal for toying around with their victims and prevent any outside interference. This time, unlike the previous 2 games, the victim walks into the house himself and then gets shot by Grandpa and taken to a cell. This proves that Grandpa and Granny are sadistic, and the theory that suggests that they only ambush bad men is just an excuse for them to torture them. It's possible in ambushing...
Oh, I get it now. I totally get it now.
This man, the man had some sort of problem, presumably having his car broken down, and found the nearest place to ask for help, ending up in Granny's new house. Yet again, if the victim finds a teddy bear here and places it in the crib, Slenderina leaves the victim alone and helps him with escaping, leaving a key behind. Throughout the game, Slenderina hunts and scares the victim, helping Granny to catch him. But if the victim proves not to be a bad man, Slenderina helps him. In conclusion, all of the entities within the game have supernatural origins. Granny and Grandpa have more tangible presence, while Slenderina is a ghost. Granny and Grandpa are quite intelligent and have good hearing, as they place intricate puzzles around the house and toy around with their victims despite looking like zombies. They have immunity to bullets, but still can be stunned and knocked out for a short while. Meanwhile, Slenderina is a ghost, but she is more reasonable, as when the victims place the teddy bear in the crib, she leaves them alone, thinking they might be good men. Therefore, Granny and Grandpa must suffer from some sort of mental problems and could be quite sadistic, as it possibly ran down to their child, Angeline, who seems to have mental disorders and depression, which leads her to kill her family by poisoning them, including Slenderina. Granny, who possibly has mental disorders herself, shackled Angeline and let her die. It's clear that this entire family benefits from supernatural abilities, however, as the Diary of Slenderina was written in 1800s, making Granny very old, who still roams on the earth, considering the third game possibly taking place in early 2000s at least, as cameras and monitors are used. Granny is a huge game which can have several different interpretations until some canon backstory.
Alright. Okay. So I see how this is going now. So like chapter 3, so 4 might be the newest chapter, but that's about to come out. I think it already came out. Yeah, let me check out the other. How do I exit this? Wait. But first, I'm gonna watch this one real quick. Then I will get to the game.
Hey, D, you work here?
Whatever, kid.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's. What's up, guys? Before this video begins, make sure to like and subscribe as always, and check out the membership program to get things like shoutouts and daily video updates. Speaking of which, shout out to all the members we have so far. Anyway, enjoy, guys. When you think of scary, what do you imagine? Demons? Ghosts? An angry kidnapping grandmother? Well, if you chose the last option, then good news for you, because the 2017 smash hit Granny took something seemingly innocent like a grandmother and turned it into a crazy, horrifying experience. However, this game is approaching 4 years old now, and nowadays, even with how popular the game was during its initial release, the game has nearly entirely disappeared from any coverage anymore, despite some very interesting and unheard of updates to the franchise. But with that being said, let's go over the since dead game, and with some interesting integrations of the title and even a second and most recently third title to the series, let's take an outside look at the life of this game and answer the question, what happened to Granny? Well, before we get into some of the more unheard of territory, we have to start at the very beginning of the game's time, which in this case
Next thing I want to know, what happened to Granny?
would be all the way back before Granny was even created. In specific, the very first step in Granny's time starts all the way back to a game called Slendrina. Slendrina was a massive 10-game series based on a player finding themselves in certain locations and having to find objects to escape. Originally built to be a Slender clone, hence the name Slendrina, who was supposed to be the daughter of Slenderman. Anyway, this Android exclusive series wasn't incredibly popular, despite it being very similar to Granny in a few ways, but it did lack some major features that Granny had that I'll discuss in a minute. But anyway, as always with most of these Slender clones, they pop up for a couple of days and just fell back down without any real traction. Okay, here we are with 10 Slendrina titles and not much crazy traction from them. However, the next title in the franchise, originally seen as the 11th title in the series, was going to instead be a spin-off of Slendrina. And come November 2017, at the height of the indie horror genre, a spin-off game in the same universe as Slendrina called Granny was officially released on Android and was later released on iOS. This game had a relatively similar concept at surface value, that being running from some haunted lady trying to collect objects without getting caught. However, Granny took this concept and took it way further than just another Slender clone by adding actual objectives to complete, very similar to what Hello Neighbor did, where certain tasks need to be completed to slowly unlock parts of a main door. Not to mention the fact that when the player loses, they are put back into the starting room, but also have to sacrifice a day. And after 5 days, the game's over and the player has to start from the beginning, which can be seen as a little bit annoying to some people, but it added a brand new element to the title, giving actual punishments for dying rather than just being scared. Anyway, despite the game's 2017 release, the game really began to pick up traction early 2018. Pioneered by people like 8-Bit Ryan and Cub Scouts, who led the way months later for bigger creators like DanTDM and Markiplier to shed tons of light to a mini title like this one, leading to an explosion in popularity. Granny began to exponentially rise among other classics like Hello Neighbor and Bendy and the Ink Machine. It was very weird at first considering it was only a mobile game, but this actually worked in Granny's favor, thanks to the fact that most fans of these games were younger and couldn't necessarily just buy a brand new game or get a PC to do so. But pretty much everybody nowadays has access to a mobile device with an app store, especially for a free game like Granny. Anyway, this game doesn't need too much more explaining on its actual popularity. People played it, people liked it, and more people played it. Simple enough. However, with pretty much every popular game, a question arises. What does the developer do afterwards? Well, there's many directions to go, whether it's spin-offs, other titles, or taking a step back entirely. However, the most popular decision for trying to keep the life inside of a game is to make a second title building upon the original, which is exactly what happened with Granny. After spending the first year of the original game's lifetime on ports and updates, the second year was dedicated to producing a brand new title releasing on September 6, 2019, called Granny 2, respectively. This version of the game decided to put a brand new twist to the Granny franchise. And with this being the second title, there was a second main antagonist, that being Grandpa, who this time teams up with Granny to help keep the player from escaping. Now, at this point is where the game began to fall down quite significantly, mostly considering the fact that the original game was 2 years old, and the sequel was more or less just a DLC add-on to the original, which at the end of the day was just a simple mobile game anyway, and inherently didn't have that much longevity. However, there was something massive that was about to happen to the Granny franchise, one that even the developers couldn't see coming. If you've seen any of my videos, you've probably heard my constant preaches about how important the communities of games are. Not for the basic reasons like having people to actually play the game, but they can also work for the developer and grow the game passively. Word of mouth, Wikipedia pages, mods are major examples of such. And with any popular game comes various fan-built versions of it. Sometimes
Alright. So, I know more about it now. I've been wanting to look it up for a while now, and I never have. This time I have. What else? I'm gonna look up the newest chapter. Newest Granny game. One, two, three. So this 4 is the newest one. Granny. Chapter 4. Yo. This one had that just came out. Granny 4. So like the more chapters there is, the more enemies that's there. It starts off with Granny, then Granny and Grandpa, then Granny, Grandpa, and Slendrina. And now more of them. Okay. Yo, check that out. Man. Let's see if there's a 5. That one. I don't even think the 4 came out yet. Don't seem like it. But there is a 4. I gotta check that out soon. I don't know if it's fully out. I'm gonna see is Granny 4 out yet. Whoa. Granny chapter 4 out. No, Granny 4 is not released. But look. I think it says it's out now. I don't know. know, I'm gonna go ahead and go to type in Granny 4 just to see if it's on the Play Store. Granny 4. Nope, it's not out. It's probably out on something. No, this is just reacting to the trailer of it. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and play Granny Chapter 2. Oh. Yeah, I'll accept it. Alright, turn that off. So it gives me an option right here. Either play with only Granny in the game or only Grandpa or both. I'll do both. Nightmare mode? I don't know. I'll leave it on. I ain't gonna put it on dark mode right now. Okay. I'm gonna leave it on nightmare now. This time. Trying to see what that speaker button did. Agent both. Do record. Check. Okay. Be quiet. Granny hears everything. Grandpa doesn't hear very well, but he hits hard. Okay, he don't hear very well. Press and hold the remove button to free yourself from bear traps. Hide under beds or in wardrobes. You have 5 days. Use headphones for best experience. Oh. Day 1. I can hear him right there. I don't know. I'll wait for a little bit. This is sensitivity. Okay, everything's good. Is it coming from down here or up there? The stairs. I can hear him I don't think they're down here. Oh my god. Ah. Yo. Okay. Start off bad so far. You know I heard walking close by. Yo. This is one way to this. Gotta open that. Put in steering wheel. And that the key to it. Gasoline. Spark plug. Okay. They'll be there. Hey there. I will. That Yo, I just seen Granny right there. I don't think it's a good time to go through it now. I think I'm good now. I see you. Yo, Grandpa, seriously.
Where are you?
I heard that bear trap Granny. Oh man. Yo. Not Grandpa listening to that. I'll put this down here because I don't know what it's for. You don't see. I don't think they'll see me under the bed with them. Probably not. What's up, Granny? Yes. Something else got her attention. I'm thinking. Oh, how to move this. I can't. Wait, what? What the? No, it just disappeared. No. I think that's supposed to fall down. Oh, yeah. I don't know. What's up, Granny? Thing is Granny human? She's still alive, or she's turned into some kind of creature? A zombie or something. Oh, she's still right there. Yo, the door's open. She's seeing me. Granny, I might have to make a run for it. Yes, you clearly see me. I hear the footsteps are so close, but it's not as close as it sounds. At some point it is. See? Man. Just open the door and just walk off. Just have to make sure. I don't remember the door being here. It's gotta be there. This door is new. I never seen that. My candle. I see you. Seems like you're up. That was close. Granny walked past. 4 of them. Okay. Down there. How do you know if it's not Grandpa or not?
Where are you?
Another bear trap up here. I see Granny. Oh, Grandpa. Yo, you saw Granny laying there. You like, oh, let me go check that out. What the fuck? Oh, makes it more difficult if they team up. Oh, man. I'm back down here. I gotta go. What? I know he's gonna be right here. Oh. I'll take both of them. It's kind of no later. I gotta go right there where Grandpa is. I just want the crowbar right now. come on, Grandpa. Day 4. I ain't even used anything on nothing, bro. Yet. Yes. The game just gets harder and harder. Try again.
Where are you?
Try to go down there with no problem.
Where are you?
Alright. Spark plug. And also made a key to this. And let's see.
I see you.
Still made him.
Where are you?
What's up, Granny? Oh, there you go. Now you got something to go to. Keep you distracted for a while. I thought I heard something. I thought it was sprinting to me. One of them was sprinting. No. Here, Grant, come over here real quick.
Where are you?
All right, Granny. Yo, I don't know. Chapter 2 is much harder than chapter 1. Imagine how chapter 4 gonna be. Extreme. It's like the more, like really like the story where you have to escape. If you escape in chapter 1, it gets even harder. When Granny captures you again, it keeps getting harder. It may be the character in this story that I'm controlling right now escaped all of them places. Only one. The only one. This is the final one. See if I can. I doubt I'm gonna be able to escape though. There you are. Last day. Oh. Oh, saw me. What's the ending gonna be like right now? What's the ending? Oh, yeah, that one. Crazy. Well, that was chapter 2. Man, I might be able to escape it next time, but Granny, Grandpa, I can do this. I can do this. Yo, I played chapter 3, so. Oh, I forgot Sundrine in this one. In chapter 3. She is. See, but in chapter 3, did this character was it a different character? I went back and watched what's going on with Granny. I think that's what it is. I just found out that he's got on his chest. Grandpa. It's like the security room where the security cameras are. Go check the cameras. That's how they know it. Granny hears everything Grandpa don't. Granny don't sleep. Grandpa does. So they basically like a little different. I'm about to tap on them. No, nothing happens. I'm gonna try one more time in dark mode. In darker mode. seem too dark. Oh, this one you won't need a flashlight like that mode. That's a little darker. Yo. If you go in the kitchen where Grandpa plays that music, you gonna see him jamming up. Yo. You didn't see me, did you? Okay. You didn't see me hiding here. Johnny! Johnny! Crowbar through the wall. Oh yeah, escape from the helicopter. The 3 ways to escape. Oh. Yo. That was crazy. Oh man, I can't go through there. What? What? Yo. I dropped the wrench right there. Yeah, go on, Granny. You ain't got me on over here. What is this? What kind of bed is this? Don't seem comfortable. Oh, yo, Granny. I see that shirt. Oh. No, Granny, let me explain. Uh.
Scary escape.
I try playing that one soon. I didn't go to that app. Why did it take me straight here? Okay, day 3. Let's do this. What was it? Oh, okay. Whoa. Whoa. Yo. Grandpa was down the stairs right there. Granny was up the stairs right there. Either way, I would have got knocked out. You surrounded me. Oh, why you brought Grandpa? Granny. Done.
I see you.
You don't see me right now. You heard that? Oh, no, yeah. Bro, what the? Some red eyes right there. Did you see that? I might have to rewatch this. See if I can solve it. Worse. Part of the game I never saw. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you, Grandpa. No, show yourself now. No, you might as well go ahead and show yourself. Okay. Here might just pop up close around the corner. Yeah, he might be just right around the corner. Check first, nothing there. Gramps, where are you? That's why I was locked from the other side. Oh. Granny, really? What the fuck? Yeah. Day 5, last day. Might as well just go ahead and do it.
I see you.
Gotta get this done, man. Yes. Another gonna be like this. Come on out wherever you are. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. Let me try this. I ain't tried this yet. too late. Damn. What are you doing again? Oh, that's it. Okay, that's it for Granny Chapter 2 for today. I will be trying out Chapter 3 soon. First, before I end the live stream, let's hear some more stories about Granny. Okay. Let's go. Story about Granny Horror Gang. Granny was based on a true story. Wait, what? In 1889, that was a long time ago. Rumors it that she kidnapped her grandson and he was never let out. When he screamed in pain, she took her back and beating him up. After many years of suffering, he took his last breath. She was never found. Never found. What, is your house in the middle of nowhere? Who's that in the picture? Okay. The whole story of Granny Final. Turned into zombies. They don't seem too much like zombies, but I'm gonna see this one.
Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in today's theory video, we take a look at Granny in our search to explain the mysterious backstory to this creepy house and the murderous old lady that inhabits it. In order to do this, we need to take a look at another character who appears under very specific circumstances within the game. Slendrina. By connecting the dots between these two characters, as well as using clues found around the house itself, I believe we can finally understand the sinister events that went down within this house, the reason Granny wishes to kill us, and why the heck this ghostly figure shows up at all. So let's get started. In case you don't know, Granny is a stealth horror game available for mobile devices, including phones and tablets, on the Google App Store. Now, I'll leave a link below in case you haven't had the chance to play it for yourselves yet. In Granny, the player finds themselves trapped in a creepy old house, full of traps to avoid, puzzles to solve, and items to collect, all while avoiding Granny, who stalks them with a baseball bat. They have 5 days to get out of this house before they perish, but there is no real explanation as to why any of this happens. The game page itself gives no clues. In fact, the closest we get to any kind of backstory in written form can be found with a note from another one of Granny's victims.
Yeah, I read that like a couple of times. I thought it was random hint of what happened, but it's another person that was there getting attacked by Granny that wrote that. Okay. Let's see.
Victims located in the tool shed. In this note, an unknown person talks about being kidnapped after their car broke down. Likely the same car we find stashed underneath the house itself. So this may allude to how Granny gets her victims back to the old house, but it doesn't really flesh out her character in any way, other than to say she's super crazy. However, if we turn our attention to the appearance of Slendrina, I think we may get some answers. To do this, we need to understand the character of Slendrina, so let's begin with that. It is important to keep in mind that Slendrina is also a creation of the same developer, Deviloper. So her inclusion here could be an Easter egg rather than canon to the story. But I personally feel there is more of a connection here. Once again, very little information about Slendrina is out there, but when looking at some games made by the same creator, we can see there are some similarities in both the torturous environments and the character models themselves. While Slendrina is obviously in part influenced by urban legend Slenderman, I believe her main influence must surely come from Japanese folklore. Let me explain. In Japan, there is the infamous tale of the Yurei. This is the tormented or lost soul of a woman who became a vengeful spirit on Earth after going through a trauma such as a murder at the end of their life. Through their desire for revenge, their sorrow, or simply their pure hatred, the Yurei now live on in spirit form. The Yurei has long black hair and dresses in white clothing, floating above the ground. Feel familiar yet? The Yurei will remain on Earth until it has been laid to rest, either by the performance of a ritual or by resolving an emotional conflict. However, if the ritual is left incomplete or the conflict is unresolved, the ghost will continue to haunt. Keep this information in mind for later in the theory. Now, this is interesting, as it would mean if Slendrina is a Yurei, then it explains her reappearance after the teddy bear is placed within the crib. How? Well, we have to connect the dots here a bit, but it would suggest that this woman had a child who died or was killed while still an infant. By placing the teddy bear in the crib, the Yurei, in this case Slendrina, is summoned. But as her conflict is unresolved, she remains in the house rather than peacefully transitioning to the afterlife. But what conflict, you may ask? And how does all this Japanese folklore relate to the story of Granny? Well, now the foundation has been laid, here comes the theory for today's video. The game is called Granny, but nowhere are we given any indication that this woman is anyone's grandmother. Certainly she doesn't seem to be a relative of the character we are playing, but she must be a granny to someone. So then, logically we can conclude that Slendrina is the daughter of Granny, right? Well, not quite, because there is one more thing I haven't yet touched on, and that is Slendrina's mother, who shows up in the hidden chamber behind the bookshelf in the bedroom. We know this is Slendrina's mother, as she has appeared in other Slendrina games under this name. This means Slendrina is the granddaughter to the Granny, and the woman chained up here is in fact Granny's daughter herself. But why is she chained up like this? And what is the importance of the crib? And how does this reveal anything about the game's deeper meaning? Well, let's put the puzzle pieces together and form some answers. First, the crib itself. What are cribs best known for? Holding babies, right? But Slendrina looks like a young woman rather than a young child, so she's likely not the spirit of the baby who belongs in this crib. Instead, I would suggest she is the mother of a deceased child. There is actually a game from the same developer known as Child of Slendrina, and this features the spirit of a baby who attacks the player on sight and also appears in a crib very similar to this one. And with this information in mind, I believe we are dealing with an origin story here. Granny may have been left to look after the granddaughter's child while she was out with her mother for the day. Something happened that day that caused Granny to snap. Perhaps the child drove her insane with its incessant crying. Whatever the reason, something caused Granny to do something truly terrible that day. Mother and daughter return and discover Granny has killed the child. The mother threatens to call the police, so Granny chains her up in one of the spare rooms and hides the evidence by pushing a bookcase over the door, leaving her to starve. The daughter then takes her own life out of grief or is perhaps herself killed by Granny. The bathtub seems stained. Could this be where the murder took place? This theory also explains why we find pieces of a torn-up portrait of Granny throughout the house. The picture was probably ripped to pieces by the daughter after her granny committed such horrific acts upon their family. So both the mother, daughter, and baby are now dead, but their spirits remain in the form of Yurei, as they have unfinished conflict on Earth, harboring hatred and vengeful thoughts towards Granny for her inhuman actions. These spirits now remain as Slendrina and Slendrina's mother. This game has been their origin story this entire time. The player sets their spirits free again by uncovering this tragedy. They reappear, but still without resolution, and now terrorize others as evil spirits in games such as Slendrina the School and Slendrina the Cellar. Their first victim will likely be Granny herself, as shown in the final shot of the game. And by placing the teddy bear in the crib, we also raise the spirit of Slendrina's child, who later appears in the game Child of Slendrina. Granny is where it all began, the prequel to all those other games, and we literally play as the character responsible for unleashing them upon the world. Pretty crazy, right? But what are your thoughts on this theory? Could Granny really be the origin story of Slendrina? Is this one big story connected, or simply an Easter egg for fans of the developer's previous games? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And that's it for today's video. Please remember to give it a like if you...
Well, there we go. That's more about Granny right there. Okay. I will be playing Chapter 3 soon. See how that goes. It's going to be much harder than Chapter 2, definitely. Oh, Chapter 2, definitely. First thing before I end the stream. What the fuck? End the stream. What was I going to look up? It was something else I was going to look up. What is it? There was something else I was going to look up, but I can't remember exactly what it is. Okay. I gotta think about it for a second. Oh yeah, all games related to the Granny game. All games related to the Granny game. Let's see. I'm gonna look that up. All Granny games. to the Granny game. Because it might be, because all the games related to it might be all in one story, you know. Slender and what? Hold on. Oh, this ain't all in that one story though. Okay. Let's see how long been going for. Okay. Anyways, I'll get going now. See you in the next live. Peace. How do I end this? Okay.